Hello and welcome to another episode of TPK, the show so named so that if I do accidentally kill all of my players, I can just call it branding. Yes, welcome to the Player's Key. And Happy New Year! We are back, baby! Full table for the first episode of 2024. We hope you had lovely Christmas or holiday or family time or, general merriment throughout the new year.
No, I was alone the entire time.
We are back to chase those January blues away. So let me introduce those players to you now. We have Callum Sim, Charlotte Cumming, Debbie Gray, Ben Fenner, Kendall Boardman, and Pete Austin. And so far, I am still the one and only Jack Fletcher, but that could change at any time.
Right now, people.
I don't think we have anything to discuss, so shall we dive right in,
I
players?
have stolen your identity, so I am Jack Fletcher.
How dare you, Jack Fletcher? Well,
It's not Halloween anymore.
it's not, unfortunately. So with that being said, let us not keep the players waiting.
No.
Let us not keep you waiting.
No.
It is time to enter the Player's Keep. In the last chapter of our story, last year, many moons ago, but for our Dawn Takers, it was but a matter of hours. You had arrived back in the city of Dolomus with a tangled web that had been laid out in front of you. A murder of Lady Defana Olagiana and Cricket the Grung and their old companion Halvar Fiskhalvin suspected of the crime. Investigating, you have found a modicum of evidence, but not nearly enough to give you a surefire pathway to redemption. Upon returning to Dolomus from the Blightlands and gaining some information in spots around the city, you eventually decided that you needed to try and make an ally of one Arcanist Oknunut of Fuixka, the Nubisian hematurgy wizard or blood magic wizard that had been working with Mothyu. You arrived at his abode and beseeched him for his help. However, being someone from a foreign country, they did not have the political sway that was needed in order to try and bend the ear of either the Iron Guard or the acting Lady of Dolomus. And thus, they advised you to go and find some concrete evidence that would turn the head of the Iron Guard and persuade them to release Halvar, who you still know is being held in the highest security section of the Iron Barracks prison within the city.
Eek.
Yep.
As you traveled through the city, this time pointedly keeping your ear to the ground for whisperings and rumblings going on through the city, certain things caught your ear or caught your eye. A particular individual talking to a cat.
Oh, yeah.
You thought they were maybe simply out of their mind, but upon further inspection, you saw that there was something more to them, linked to a particular narcotic that you think you might have seen once before in this city. And you have arranged to meet them later at some point to try and discuss things further. You heard how one of the high clerics of the city has suddenly succumb to madness of some form, and you're not sure what has gone on there. And you also saw some rather disturbing evidence of the blatant injustice and prejudice that is part and parcel of the Iron Guard here in Belladrin, with a drow being arrested. You're not sure of what, but the drow themselves alluded to being targeted by the Iron Guard, and that they were not the real enemy that lurked in the Underdark. But that was all you got. You toyed with many different possible avenues of investigation.
We did.
One of which was to expedite Nakani's meeting with the tavern owner of the Black Bottle, which you decided to do tonight. And in the meantime, you decided to go and check in on this High Cleric to see if any of the goings on over there were linked. And so you headed off towards, I believe you know it to be the Temple of Nelaguir.
We do.
Yes.
We do
I know where
indeed.
that is. The first time we've all been together since episode 12.
Oh shit!
No.
Shut
That's
up.
why this
Wild.
feels
That's
weird.
gross. Cricket
Really?
was gone.
Yeah, 'cause
Cricket
you
was
fucked
gone,
off.
and then Kendall was
Then
gone,
I
and
was
then you guys
gone.
were
Give
gone.
me all.
Oh
my god.
Oh my god!
Jack, you've always been here.
Yeah,
I have. I don't know
Jack, when
why.
are you
I'm
going
not
out?
really necessary. Don't you worry, guys. Next episode, I'll be taking a break.
Yeah,
dear.
I mean,
so fun.
But
Just like no one there.
finally, us working
Anyway.
class actors have managed to land in a day where we're not desperately trying to make rent. And so we are back here in the city of Dolomis, on our way to the Temple of Nelaguir.
Yeah.
So, Dawn Takers, what would you like to do?
I don't know.
Heading to Nelaguir.
You are heading to the Temple of Nelaguir. You have started off, so you are on your way, and you think that within a matter, in less than an hour, you will be at the temple. Is there anything in particular that you would like to do as you are traveling?
Can I just
Nakani?
confirm that we
Hello.
have long rested?
You have long rested.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful.
But we did use all your key points.
You just wanted to run really
That's
far.
okay. You run as much as
You
you
wanted to
like.
win a race.
That's how
With some 12-year-olds.
Yes.
Alright.
Jack, I have a feat because I am a criminal. That's an old pill, isn't it?
Yes.
So you did murder
It
them.
says well connected.
Mm.
Does that mean I got pals?
In this particular city, because we have discussed this before, you do not. Your contact in this particular city was Halvar, and
a goddamn
Halvar
prison.
has been arrested.
Right.
That's the first I've heard.
What I will say, however, is if you do come across particular signs of criminal activity or activity akin to that you might be aware of, you might be able to recognize it slightly more easily. You might be able to weasel your way in, but you have to find it
Okay.
first.
That is what I will keep in the back of my mind. On our way to Nelaguir.
Can I just double check that I'm still disguised?
You are. You have your mask of disguise now, and thus you can disguise yourself at will. And I believe you were still disguised as Claire.
Yeah, that's right.
you
Would
very
I
much.
know what the vestments of a cleric of the Temple of Nelaguir would wear?
Nope.
Cock. Then in that case, I'm gonna disguise my clothing as being sort of religious. If I
Are you
may.
copying
I
me?
want you to make me a religion check at disadvantage, please.
Ooh, that's not
You
fun.
are a member of the Vardi. The Vardi are not only nomadic and separated, but actively choose to separate themselves from most of, if not all of, religious teachings and other knowledge, so this is going to be extremely difficult for you to do.
Okay.
Siggy's trying to steal my outfit.
I'm just trying to steal your look. That's all
Why?
it is. That's a natural one.
Natural one. You
Clown costume.
For a total of 2.
for a total of 2, because totals count. You
You remember a bearded man in like a nun hat? Just merely last
don't
session.
you dare.
This stuff like
Jack tried to look like Santa, but he just looked like a nun.
I'm just giving the people what they want. You recast disguise self through your mask of disguise, keeping the hair, the visage of here, but changing the vestments that they wear into these long robes. And you're pretty sure that most robes have like large bell sleeves, and you've got like a slight train at the back. It's of a similar color to Tony's magic, so it's like this purple-ish, bluish color, and it's trimmed with sort of like thick bands of silver on the sleeve, and you think that you've done a pretty good job.
What you doing? What you doing over there?
No.
Tony, you look at him and he looks absolutely nothing like a cleric that you have ever seen. It's gaudy, it's over the top, it's like a caricature of any sort of religious person. They look more akin to like a pointy hat wizard robe sort of thing.
Siggy, you look perfect. How did you do that?
Blessings be upon you, my child.
Yeah.
Do I look
You
like...
you got it. Like
I got it?
it's
Do
better
all
than
two.
mine. You know. Wow. Absolutely smashed it.
Can I do an
Good
insight
job.
check?
Nope.
That-
Absolutely not.
Ziggy
Natural
is-
one, not at all.
Ziggy is beaming.
Yes.
He's like, fuck yeah, I've nailed this.
And I'm gonna,
Kicking down the
she'll
table.
lean over to Will and be like, "That is the worst thing I've ever seen." in my life."
That is the ugliest effing skirt I've ever seen.
Incredible.
A for effort.
You're a mean girl.
Is there
Bitch.
any other preparation that any of you would like to do in this moment?
What is my visibility status?
As far as I'm aware, you are visible.
I would think it.
I made him invisible
Invisible.
outside of Alcan's Foxer.
Before we went in.
Yeah, because he tried to hide you under his
Yeah,
disguise.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
And then
I
I
made
got-
you invisible.
I got axed. Which broke.
No,
That was
on the way out.
On the way out.
That was before your long rest, I believe.
No,
Oh
that
no,
was
no, that
after.
was after.
Yeah.
So where have you?
I could
Because you
be-
broke it in Alcan's Foxers.
Yeah, I
And then
remember.
when we were out, I cast it again.
Did you
So-
give it back?
Yeah,
'Cause
that
I
was
was
before
fuming
That's
the
right.
round, and,
Yes,
that was-
yes. So I will say that you are halfway through this particular bit of invisibility. So you've got a half an hour left before you need to burn another spell for it.
Forgive me.
But
Just
well
let me
remembered.
know. Well, I'll let you know because I know.
Okay.
Because I'm the powerful
Please do.
one.
So you are still invisible.
Yes.
Anything else for anybody else?
I'm just gonna keep an eye out for anybody following us or
Wonderful.
Doing anything suspicious.
Suspicious.
That was
Same brain.
Like loud and in unison.
I feel like I've joined a cult.
One of
Yes,
us.
we are all individual.
Tough
I'm
or
not.
lappy. Okay. Give me a perception check.
Percept.
I shall
Give me a quick
see.
perception.
Give me a perception.
Ha. 10.
10.
You love that number. You
Yeah.
Quite a lot.
Yeah. I'm just average. I'm
Hey.
just average.
Middle.
Hey,
Bang in the
middle of the
in the
pack
middle.
is not bad at all.
Hey, at least you're not me.
You
Yeah, that's true. That would be
keep
awful.
your head on a swivel, Nakani. And it's fairly... How tall are you?
Little.
You are little. It's fairly difficult for you to do because you cannot necessarily see over the tops of people's heads. So there is a little bit of less than secretive jumping up now and again. Occasionally you will mosey on to the side of the street and just climb up and just survey the area, have a look around. But as far as you are aware, you cannot see anyone following you.
Okay.
The minutes tick by as the streets open up to you and you are within minutes of arriving at the Temple of Nelagwir.
I might, as we are walking, just like when me and Tony are holding hands, linking pinkies.
Adorable.
Are we doing that?
Link the pink.
Hated. That is a firm negativo.
I'm now
Yeah.
4-year-old
No.
again.
Before I said it, I was like, that's
Mean
gross.
Girls, isn't it?
Veto.
Redo.
Veto.
Did you? This happened when you went there the other day?
No,
No. Did anything weird happen? Like, did it seem? Was it just normal?
no, yeah, I just went in and I went into one of the rooms and just meditated for a bit, came out and left. So,
Okay, that's weird. Were they nice?
yeah,
Okay, cool. That's nice. Did you meet the half there?
yeah, she was lovely.
Oh, sorry. Are you okay?
I mean, I don't really know what happened to her, but I don't know, I mean, hopefully she'll be alright. I mean,
Yeah. Well, it's a shame that she was nice.
mm,
Okay, well, maybe you might be able to help us find out some more information. If you've been here
Maybe.
before. Okay. Well, just let me know if you need me.
okay.
And as this conversation finishes, you round the corner, and a little ways down the street, you see what is to you, Antonia, a familiar sight. The Temple of Nelagwir. Its central chamber, this circular column with domed roof with a right and left wing attached to it. You can see the steps that lead up to this sort of pseudo promenade that surrounds the front of the building, planters of flowers. You can see one of them has actually been pushed over and has fallen out onto the street. The contents sprayed across the cobblestone, soil, flowers, detritus, and bits of stone as this large stone planter has cracked on the actual floor. Is anybody approaching the actual temple? Or are you just heading on straight in?
I'm gonna stride confidently up.
Okay.
He looks so stupid.
It looks fucking ridiculous, but hey, you bigged him up, so
yeah. You don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe follow just in case.
Cool.
With a disguised Sigismund at the tip of the spear, you head on up to these doors of the temple. Large doors that open inwards, and you push them open, and as before, they open with somewhat of a surprising ease. And inside, you can see the chamber, and to everybody bar Tony, this is a brand new sight. High vaulted ceilings. You can see in the center there is this large altar with this massive statue depiction of the supposed form of Nelagwir in her truest form. You can see that there are a couple of people dotted about in this chamber. As you look to the left, you can see a door that is closed that leads off to the left wing. You can see to the right there is a door that leads to the right wing. However, this door has been busted open and is hanging on one hinge. You can see that a couple of the torch braziers have been twisted or moved so they do not sit properly as the rest of them do around this circle. You can also see there is, as I say, a couple of people in this central chamber. You recognize a kobold that you spoke to the first time that you arrived here at this temple, but they are actually speaking to an Iron Inquisitor off to the back. There is, however, a bugbear, this large goblinoid species with a ruff of fur sort of like coming down almost like sideburns that line the jawline of this creature. Two pointed pseudo tusks protrude from the lower mandible, large ears, and sort of like a flat pointed nose, not unlike a furbolg's, with a bit more of a point and 2 large eyes, and they are dressed in the robes of Nelagwe.
I'm just going to hang back real quick and just be like, what is the game plan? What are we doing?
I think just talk to people, no? I'm gonna stride up to the somebody who needs the bugbear.
The bugbear. Yes, you take a couple of steps forward and you spot that they have actually spotted you and are approaching you as well.
Can I just sort of scoot behind? Like, oh.
Yeah?
Tony's gonna keep an ear in this conversation, but also kind of wander towards the statue that still stands there.
You can absolutely do so. As the group step into this central chamber to meet this bugbear, you take a step to the side and trail around and go up towards the altar.
But not leaving the group so much. I'm not going right to the altar.
Okay, no worries. You sort of put yourself to the side of the front
Yeah.
so that you are as close as you can.
And she's just gonna.
Yes, you absolutely can do so. Bear with me 1 second. Is this the individual that I need? Yes, it is. Fantastic.
I'm
stuff.
going to curveball as well, if that's okay. Just because I'm invisible, I'm going to go off and try and eavesdrop on the conversation between the Iron Guard, the Iron Inquisitor.
The Iron Inquisitor. Fantastic stuff. You can do so. Give me a stealth check at advantage.
Until they all cast
Yes, I should.
invisibility.
Yeah.
As we're going over
I
to
can
the
see
cleric
you.
as well, can I just like squeeze the
Well,
Connie's hand and be
no.
like, you got this, Connie? And then give her Bardic Inspiration.
You can do so. Bardic Inspiration.
6, 8.
Did you give it, what was that, advantage?
No, you're at advantage because you're invisible for the
Yes, I
stealth
am.
check. I will say, as you arrived at the Temple of Nelagwe, you've had to recast invisibility. So cross that off, but you've now got a full hour of invisibility.
You stop being wanted.
Thanks.
He's just so desirable.
I can't help myself.
So, Nakana, you have inspiration.
I've
Stealth
got-
check,
At advantage was 25.
25. Duly noted. Okay, you creep on over. Nakani. This bugbear approaches you and sort of gives a curt nod to you all and looks at you and says, "Greetings. How may I help you?"
Oh, we just heard about something unfortunate that happened here, and I was wondering if you could tell us a bit more about it. It looks like something made a bit of a mess outside as well.
Yes. Our recent High Cleric has been taken ill at this current time. And unfortunately, has left the temple in somewhat of an untoward state. I, for now, am the acting High Cleric.
Oh, very nice to meet you, and she's offered her hand.
I like this.
You don't seem to be actually
He looks at your hand for a moment, goes to shake it, and then pauses, and you give that example. Thank you very much. And imitates more. He gives halfway between the gesture that you intended and a high five. He is a bit too heavy-handed with it and sort of like slaps at your hand, but it is akin to what you were expecting. You know that there's at least a concerted effort there, but he seems to have blundered it a little bit. Thank you. My apologies. How can I assist you?
As he does that.
Ignore them. You are doing great.
It's okay. It's okay. It's you know what, Jack? It's all okay.
It's so serious. We're all
It's
fine.
okay.
Fine.
It's all right.
Fine.
It's good. We're grand.
Oh my god. And that's the way. I like it.
It's all right. I just
And that's the way it was.
in a former life, this this bugbear was on the hunt for Red October. It's fine. It's all good.
Carry on.
So as he swipes my hand, I'm just gonna grab his hand, use the momentum to just step closer, and just sort of mutter in his ear to make it look like it's like a conventional, just a very sincere greeting. Be like, I know things are difficult right now, but me and my friends, we can help if you can give us a bit more information.
Make me a persuasion check.
Okay, so I did my thing.
Yes! Amazing!
So, do you want me to describe?
I
it
would
from the
love you
thing?
to. So what has happened as Nakani woke up this morning?
Oh, this morning,
Or whenever you think that this may have...
she sat in her she sat in her room and concentrated, and she lays the piece of jade in front of her, and as she concentrates, the threads start to flicker and the stone starts to move, and then she grabs from space a thread, pulls it towards and thinks about it, and then attaches it to her throat, and then it fizzles out like a from the middle to the other end.
Amazing.
The stone drops, and then I have given myself proficiency in persuasion.
Incredible. I love it.
I do the same thing.
Give me that.
So can I have my
Is that
bardic
all
inspiration
days?
back?
If you want.
No.
Not a chance.
No, absolutely not.
Okay. Can I use bardic inspiration after the first roll? Just in
You
case
can
it's
you
bad?
can roll, you can check the number, and then you can decide if you want to use the
Okay.
bardic inspiration.
Before
but
I'm like, could I?
no, yeah, I will not reveal if it succeeds or fail. You can
Okay.
choose to use the bardic inspiration before that happens.
Cool.
So roll away, and then see if you want to use the bardic.
Okay. Oh no. Okay. That is a 12.
12 total.
But she's so.
Is that with the bar?
Pretty please.
That's with the bardic.
Yeah.
I am unfamiliar with you individuals. What is your speciality?
Well, we have spent time as blighters, and we are very familiar with unfortunate events that have sinister causes, and are interested in helping for the greater good of everybody in the city.
Blighters. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with that.
Oh, we go out into the Blightlands and fight monsters, and
In the name of good.
yes.
I've at least heard of these.
We also have a cleric of Nelagui with us.
You are a
Oh, no, sorry, I haven't.
I was going to say I recognized your robes, but not as Nelagui. You say you're a cleric of Haverin.
Yeah.
Well, it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, and you are always welcome in our temple should you need anything from us.
Thank you.
I too am a cleric.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
are you? My apologies, I did not recognize your attire. Where are you from?
Oh, you probably would have heard of them from. It's a very small god, and I travelled a long way to worship him, all the way to Anajao. Isn't that right, Nakani?
Yes.
My apologies, I'm not familiar with this particular attire. What god do you worship?
He's a god of closets and small spaces.
Interesting. Give me a deception check.
Fuck yeah.
At
Please
disadvantage.
make up
A
an
disadvantage.
Jack.
Come on.
It was so well explained.
You are
have
trying to
silvery
make up
bars.
a god to a cleric.
Fuck. Can I silvery barbs that?
No.
That's a disadvantage.
What was it? Deception.
Deception at disadvantage.
Okay.
5.
What did you roll?
Can I read this bugbear?
If you would like to make me an insight check, Nakani.
Yes, I will.
God of Closets is what us gay people worship. He's great.
Let me out.
Really encouraging. Slightly possessive. He's like, don't go, but go.
Yeah.
There's always space for you to come back.
17.
With a 17, you can ascertain that this particular individual is very cautious and wary of your particular group.
Tony will step forward and be like, he's my assistant.
Also, recently suffered a head injury in a battle and
Yeah.
is just a small amount concussed.
He wants to learn the ways, but he's
I blink, but just like one eye at a time, really slowly.
Well, I am sure you have the capabilities to help with that.
I'm trying my best.
I am sure you are.
But forgive me, we
Yeah.
just wanted to. We were worried about what happened to Lady Dufana and wondered if this was linked in some way. We just wanted some more information.
Make me a persuasion check.
You love.
I love
Next
charisma,
campaign, you need to be
even though I
charisma-based.
am -1.
Can I help at all? No?
No.
Okay.
It's okay. I'm going to use my new amethyst dice that I bought at Comic-Con.
Lovely.
I'm going to see whether it works for
Your
me.
luck's gonna change. Come on.
Persuasion.
Come on, did you charge him?
No.
Oh well. Fucked it.
Come on.
Natural
come
one
on,
coming
plus
your way in
two.
3, 2.
It's not a 1, but it's a 2. So it is a 1 because I have -1. So it's not the dice, it's me. We've established that now. I have new dice.
Yep.
And,
He,
you fucked me.
you see a pursed lit smile, sort of grimace unfold on this bugbear's face. I am very appreciative of your want to help us, but I think it is probably best if we leave this particular investigation to the Iron Inquisitors.
Has any information come up? I'm sorry, but this is my best friend and she follows Haverin, and I'm just worried that if something has happened to a high cleric of Nilliware, I mean, she's very powerful, and I'm just worried that someone might come after her. So is there anything that's come up that maybe we can like at least look out for just to protect our own? You can understand that, right?
Yes, I can.
Please.
As far as I am aware, this is the first problem that has been inflicted upon a cleric within this city. I do not know if someone is particularly targeting clerics with something. I do not know if merely High Cleric Erethel has succumbed to some force that does seem to pervade over the city. I'm not sure.
What force is that?
For many years, there have been individuals that have suffered with nightmares on occasion. We tend to receive
a few members of the community who come to us seeking peace or safety from restless sleeps. Although we do not get as much as the Temple of Dalanom, we still try and do our best in order to bestow upon those individuals a sense of peace and calm. But I sense that after this particular event, that those individuals would be less wanting to come to our doorstep for sanctity and safety.
Do you know what they're dreaming about? Is it like the same thing?
No, it is, from what people describe, they have heard all sorts of things. It is just nightmares, and it has been going on for years and years.
DM, at this point, can I sort of wander off and lose interest, and take a sort of whimsical walk around? And I want to have a look at the. Did you mention the torch sconces? Some of them were bent or broken. Can I just have a quick glance at those, see if they were like ripped out or something attacked them or something like that?
Yeah.
Get a
You
measure.
sort of start to drift from the group, and we'll get to that in just a moment.
Okay. We've heard a lot about these nightmares as well, and we obviously wanted just to help in any way we can because this city seems in pieces at the moment.
Dolomus has always had a certain air of unrest about it. It has for decades. I do not know what has changed in recent months, but it seems that some things do seem to be going awry. The poor lady murdered, and now our high cleric has been taken ill.
Where has she been taken to?
She has been incarcerated for her own safety and the safety of others around her.
And where did this happen?
I apologize, I don't understand the question.
When she became unwell?
It was here in this very temple.
Did she cause the damage?
She did. She started destroying things in her personal prayer chambers and ranting and raving of accursed specters that had afflicted her or were coming to her. There was not a lot of sense to be made by her.
Well, I think maybe, perhaps, if you find yourself frustrated with the conventional way of investigating these things, then we are here to help.
Willow and Nakani, make me individual persuasion checks.
DM, I have a question.
Bear with me 1 second.
First roll
Just
is
like-
mine, you Comic-Con dice.
Ooh.
Oh,
Natural 20!
Hey!
it's okay.
Good job,
It's okay. It's
I-
you should have bought that
I-
one. You should have bought that one.
I brought the whole set, not just the individual dice. That's the reason why.
We'll see what's the outcome of these rolls.
That would be a 21, but natural
21.
So that is a dirty 20.
Oh, for crying out loud.
And
Nice.
dirty 20.
Good rolls, good rolls.
He sort of either had his hands clasped in front of him or his arms folded for most of this, and he sort of scratches the scruff around his jawline. Looks at Antonia for a moment.
You really think that you can find out something?
We are. That is our trade, is finding things that don't want to be found and overcoming impossible odds.
Helping people who need to be helped.
You strike me as good, pure, and honest people. Follow me.
And he leads you towards the busted door on the right.
No.
Cricket, whilst this is going on,
Yes.
you were trying to eavesdrop towards this Inquisitor and the Kobold.
I'm still very one-track mind. I'm still very guard-centric.
Absolutely. So you wander on over, and about 5 feet away, you just stay very still in the sort of middle betwixt the central altar and the wall off to one side, near the busted open door where these two individuals are conversing. They are halfway through a series of questions, and you think they are sort of drawing towards the end of this particular line of questioning. You see this Inquisitor in much the same attire with the half cape, blue with the monarch's ring on there. They are a human with a sort of like half slick back of like dark red hair, and they have grey eyes. They have a slight cool a white complexion to them, looking ever so slightly pale almost, and they are just talking to this kobold. The kobold, they are stood in the same kind of robes as the bugbear that you have seen them in, these robes of Nelagwe.
The whole time, by the way, I'm looking out for any, like, if the guard asks a question and the kobold, like, hesitates before they answer, or there's any, like, friction in an answer or wait or anything,
I would like you to give me an insight check then, just to read what's happening with...
So not only am I listening, I'm really trying to...
Yes,
Yeah,
go
That's
for
just
it.
a straight roll,
This actually applies to cricket. So I basically one of the reasons I wanted off was because I wanted to be able to give him guidance. I know I can't see him, but
You will not be able to give him guidance at all. You cannot see him, you don't know where he is, and you were also going to check out the torches, I believe.
well, thanks to my 3rd level Culture of Spirits feature, I know
Yes.
the guidance cantrip, but it has a range of 60 feet.
Okay.
So I don't need to have to touch him.
You don't need to have to touch him. Do you have to see the creature, however?
Doesn't say.
Let me just double check
Will that make you
guidance.
uninvisible?
God me.
It shouldn't make cricket uninvisible.
Uninvisible, as invisible.
The spell itself says I have to touch them, but because of Guiding Whispers, I have a range on it.
Guiding whispers.
But it doesn't say anything about being able to see them. In my head, it's kind of like a pulse that goes outwards into a range of 60 feet.
I'm going to say, because you are asking the ancestors for guidance, this is a spoken rhetoric that you put out into the ether. So I will say that there is a potential for you to do this. However, you are going to have to roll a stealth check to do this, and this could potentially allude to someone else being there, because this is a very suspicious activity of you wandering off from the middle of the party, going to look at the braziers, but then trying to cast guidance for someone who is invisible somewhere in this chamber, you know not where.
Okay. In that case, I won't do it. I don't want to draw attention to cricket again.
This is also a chamber that is larger than 60 feet as well.
True, yeah. So we could.
So I'm going to say for this
Absolutely
particular...
That's cool that you can do that.
Yeah, it's dope. Isn't it?
Just not right.
But we will get to the torches and the braziers in just a moment.
No problem.
So cricket,
Oh, sugar
insight check please
Yeah.
for
Free
this.
donuts.
Let's go. Oh, it's a 19 plus 8.
Nice.
Tell me everything, Jack.
19 plus 8 for a total of 27.
Since he was 28. So.
With that insight check, as you can see these two talking, you can see that the Inquisitor is fairly calm. You can see that they are sort of running through the motions with almost a... not an impatience, but an ever so slight air of boredom. Like they've done this before.
Just going through the motions.
Going through the motions. The kobold has a nervousness to them, but every answer comes quick and eager and willing to help. And you listen in. So I wasn't actually with them at the time. As I said, they were in their private chambers. It was a little later when I heard all of the commotion. And the Inquisitor says, "Wonderful. And what did you do after that?" "Well, I left my chambers to try and see what was the matter, and I crossed this chamber, and as I was walking towards that door," and they gesture to the door that has been busted open, our high cleric sort of burst through. They didn't open the door like they usually do. They have keys to every door in this place. But they ran through it like they were trying to escape something or get to somewhere. I'm not sure. But they looked frightened, and they were looking back towards where they had been, but I looked down and I couldn't see anything. I looked down and I just saw the chambers as they were. Right. And you then say that they started attacking the torchlight. Yes, they started to try and tear off some of the braziers and the torches, like the light itself was causing them pain or injury. And when I went over to try and stop them, they cast a spell on me and blasted me back, injuring me. And what was the nature of your injuries? Honestly, I'm fine. They didn't harm me too much, because before they could do any more damage, they, I guess, caught a glimpse of something else. I don't know. It looked like they were afraid of it always looked like a new thing was coming for them. Like every couple of seconds, their brain would switch to something new, and they just ran out of the front doors. I heard a massive crash, which I assume was the planners outside, and that was the last I saw of them. I assume they were picked up shortly after. Yes, the Iron Guard very quickly heard of their antics, and they apprehended Miss Erethel. There is nothing more that you can tell me about this particular incident. I'm very sorry. That's all I know. I tried to rush out the doors after I got myself together, but I couldn't find them. They were gone. Right, well, thank you very much for corroborating your story from before. Go and get some rest. Should we have any further chase-ups, we will contact you. Good day. And the Inquisitor turns about a heel and walks towards the front entrance. The kobold circles around and starts off towards the chambers.
The bus stop door. Or different
No,
set.
the chamber's on the left-hand side, sorry.
Okay. When the kobold said, "That's all I know," did it seem like that's all they knew, or that's all they were willing to tell? That's all they knew. Okay.
Seemed like that's all they knew.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Okay. What are my pals up to at the minute? Are they still chatting, or are
They are
moving on?
at this point, as you listen to the end of this conversation, you can see that Hyur is currently inspecting some of the torches near towards the doors, and the bugbear is just turning round and walking towards the busted door that is open closest to you.
Okay.
At this, Sigismund, if you want to give me an investigation check, please.
Just for your information, I'm
Yes.
not like touching it. I'm just like
Not touching,
looking at
just
it
looking.
curiously,
Absolutely, give me an investigation
Just
check.
looking.
You can guide yourself with this one if you like.
I will.
Guidance.
Guidance. So that's 16, 17.
17 is not bad. You can see that most of these sconces are a short brass torch with a basket cage at the top that holds whatever particular fuel is used to light these torches. This particular torch has gone out, and you can see that it is set in this. There are two brass rings that it slides into, and these brass rings are held together with long brass metal attachments, which in turn are then attached to a bracket on the wall. Except this particular bracket is slightly away from the wall. It has been wrenched and pulled, and as if someone has tried to brute force tear it out of the wall. And you can see that on the opposite side, the bracket is set into the wall, but the torch and the brazier is on the floor, equally extinguished. The rest of the torches are burning as per usual.
Right. So it's only these two that fit.
It's only these two.
Right. Okay. I'm just gonna take my time and just keep looking at that while.
Absolutely. You go on over and make sure that you can glean every bit of information, and before long, the bugbear comes up behind you.
Yes, what I will say is please do not touch anything as you enter into this space unless you ask for my permission first, for there is still an ongoing investigation. But if there is anything that you can possibly do or glean, then by all means do so. Follow me. Yes.
The High Cleric did this. And I gestured to like the one that's ripped out of the wall.
Unfortunately, yes.
She must be incredibly strong.
Well, when one fears for their life, one can do many things. And it seems that Shikiela was disturbed enough to feel that she was threatened by one of our own clerics. So it is... I do not know what has exactly happened to them, but I pray that she finds peace and tranquility soon, and that Nelagwe shall shine her light upon her in these times.
Praise be.
Good job, good job.
Indeed. I see what you mean.
Just humor him.
Certainly.
Follow me. And they start leading you down this corridor, and much the same as before, you can see doors on either side all of them are now closed at this point, apart from the one at the end, which has swung open. It is on both of its hinges, but it has been, you can see that it has been sort of flung open in a flurry. You walk on into this chamber at the bottom, and you can see that there is a teapot that has smashed and scattered on the floor, its contents long since dried up. You can see likewise that there are small teacups that have been thrown against the far wall, and on a small beautifully decorated altar there are the tattered remains of some fabrics and a sundered statue of Nelaguir, a smaller, what's the word I'm looking for? Figure of the one that is in the central chamber, and it has been, it's broken into several pieces.
Just, Charlotte can't remember. Did we, from Lady, what's her face, Olagiana,
Yes.
what did we glean about her method of death? Did we...
Yes, she was, in her, as far as you are aware, Lady Defana Olagiana was sleeping in her bed one evening when all of a sudden something struck her throat and she grabbed at it. You later ascertained that this was probably her murderer injecting her with in some way with a silence beyond death poison. You got that information from Antonia. She was then dragged out of her bed, pinned to the ground, and she was murdered by dismemberment. So this, give me an investigation check.
Okay. What I'm specifically looking
Yes.
for is any indication of anything similar at all.
Yes, perfect. Give me an investigation check.
Okay. It's 15.
15 isn't bad. It is very difficult to ascertain, for you only saw the ghostly echo of the Lady of Dolomus herself. However, from the movements that she undergone, she was merely dragged out of bed and then taken to the middle of the floor. Mm-hmm. From what the rest of your companions have told you, there was no interaction with the room itself.
No, I mean, what I'm looking for is if something came in.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No. With the intent of doing the same thing but didn't finish the job.
Ooh.
You don't think so.
Okay.
There does not seem to be, on a 15, there does not seem to be any sign of breaking in that has been sundered by High Cleric Erethel's attempts at breaking out.
Okay.
The doors look like they have been busted out of, not busted into. As if someone came from this chamber and ran back out. So any evidence of a break-in has been smeared over by that. So if anyone has broken in, it is not evident. So as far as you are aware, no one has broken in.
Okay.
Having said that, there was no evidence of anyone breaking in Lady.
Yeah, well...
You were the evidence.
Yes, but I didn't leave any.
And also, like, magical stuff's not going to leave, like, Misty stepping through a keyhole's not going to...
Yeah.
Does, I was going to ask anyway, does she usually, is this room usually locked? Or is it just open to anyone?
No, this particular room is only accessible to the High Cleric unless she gives specific permission for someone to use these chambers. But that is usually unheard of, for we have other prayer chambers for other people to use.
Do we know whether she had the keys on her when she was
As far as I am aware, I do believe she did have the keys, yes.
stole keys?
I do not believe so.
And the room was left exactly like this. There wasn't like a window open.
No, the shutters were closed, the windows closed.
And I go over to the shrine with the broken statue.
Yes.
I just sort of pick up a piece of it.
You pick up a piece, and immediately the High Cleric goes, "Put that down! I specifically asked you not to touch anything.
Oh, yeah.
This is an ongoing investigation."
Sorry. I'm just curious as to why she would break a statue of her own god.
My apologies for my outburst.
No, it's right. It was his wrong.
Yeah, no, I shouldn't have touched it. I'm sorry. You did say not to touch anything.
Gonna
I
give
just
him a little
forgot.
punch in the arm, like.
Ow.
Keep your hands to yourself,
Shove them
acolyte.
inside my robes. Yeah.
I do not know as to why our High Cleric would sunder the form of Our Lady Nelagwe. But it is an ill omen.
Would I be with them at this point? Was there ample opportunity for me to slip through?
Yes,
or
there
was it like
was,
those
and I
random
will.
people go-
So, as you finished eavesdropping, the bugbear was approaching the busted door. So, if you wanted to tail behind the group, still invisible, you can do so.
Yeah. In that case, can I be inside checking him as he's chatting to everyone as well?
Yes, roll me an insight check.
Thank you. Natural 20 for 28.
Nice.
28.
Whispers.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Am I allowed to say that?
Oh, Jack is coming with you.
My dump truck my ass.
Oh.
Get me in trouble. once
Well,
again.
first thing, dump.
Ooh, do. Talk amongst yourselves.
I don't know, man.
Kendall, what did you have for breakfast?
Cereal.
Cool.
Reynolds cereal.
I had McDonald's.
Yeah,
Wait, other fast food restaurants are available?
I guess.
I
I don't
guess.
know, man.
Oh no, man.
I don't know, man. I can't believe my new amethyst dice rolled a 2. I had so much faith. But 20 is next to it. So I'm like, did you try your best?
It tried.
I'll give you
Yeah.
another chance.
You got to charge it.
Good vibes.
I'm
I
also.
love you.
I was
please.
this close to disguising myself as the High Cleric, being like, "Hey, I'm back. I'm okay."
Oh,
What the
Just
fuck?
So crazy.
Stupid, you mean?
No. Crazy.
Carefully done on the way back.
Thank you very much.
Crazy. Don't touch
also,
me.
Jack, just while you stood up, your laptop is unplugged from the wall. You might want to plug
Oh,
it
thank you very much.
I had the answer right. Oh no.
Good.
Are you doing anything with that information?
I'm continuing to listen.
Whilst Ziggy's in there, I just want to have a little look around the room
Mm-hmm.
and just see if you can see like, because everyone's been saying that she was in here.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to see if I can just look with my eyes and just see if there's like an order in where things happen.
Yes, absolutely. Give me an investigation
I
check.
didn't want that.
Guidance.
Am I
Unfortunately,
allowed to guidance myself
Oh,
before
yeah.
I do it? If I was like, do you mind if I just ask my beings
Yes,
to help me?
yes,
Just to
yes.
sort this out? And I'll be like,
Your
oh,
being.
nature.
I'm asking my beans to help me.
Oh, little bees. Little bees.
My beans. Willow is a Disney princess.
So that's 14, I think. Yeah, that was like a 14. It's a 14.
on a 14, there was something that happened that caused Ashikiela to want to destroy the things around her. You can see that the teapot is smashed near the back of the room, near the altar that the statue's pieces are on. It lies on the floor, close to that altar. The cups are in the back corner. You can see that there is a slight watermark on the wall. Yes, where near the cups, as if one of the cups being full has splashed against the wall, and you can see that there is a slight watermark on the ground as well. The liquid's gone, yes, but you know if you like a water stain on a painted wall or something like that, yeah.
Tea's usually stained.
Exactly, yes, there is a discoloration there. You don't know what order these events happened. The teapot has been smashed, the cups have been thrown, and the idol has been sundered, as well as the altar itself wrecked. On a 14, you can't ascertain the order in which that happened,
Do
however.
you know his name? I forgot.
You-
Sorry, what's your name?
Oh, my apologies. I forgot to introduce myself. My name is... Well, I suppose for now I am acting High Cleric Deglat Tanthin.
Ah?
Deglat Tanthin.
Deglat.
Spelled
Deglaht Tanthin.
Deglect.
Deglat.
Deglat.
Do you mind if I can alter my being to kind of help me find things out? Do you mind if I won't touch anything, but do you mind if I become something else just to maybe help figure stuff out? I promise not to touch anything.
Alter yourself how?
Yeah, I can become different animals, and some animals kind of...
Oh, my apologies. You're a
I'm a
druid.
druid, sorry, yeah.
No, that is quite all right. Yes, absolutely. I have quite the respect for the primal magics. By all means, you can change into
I'll
whatever.
shape into a wolf.
Okay.
Just a small wolf, not a dire wolf.
Absolutely.
Imagine.
And I'm going to go over to the tea,
Okay.
and I'm going to sniff it.
Give me a perception check, and I believe because you are a wolf, you
Yeah,
get advantage on
advantage
this.
sniffing.
Go for it.
I wish we were this good at investigating Lady Olgiana's murder.
Yeah, we should
Um,
thought that through.
Hey, that was your first murder investigation. This is like your second
This is the
investigation.
one that we
It's
don't
not.
need to
Yeah, it's not your
investigate.
first rodeo. It is in fact your second rodeo.
This is the second.
26.
26 is very good.
Doesn't it show?
You
Oh, yeah, go.
softly pad your way over and sniff your way around the broken shards of the teapot, being careful not to move any of them with your nose. And what first alights on your senses is chamomile.
Beautiful.
A beautiful, rich scent of chamomile. And on top of that, there is just this soft note of peppermint. And underneath that, some more earthy tones of what you akin to be a more regular tea. And you and think that's all that you can smell, and you go to turn away when something catches in your nose, something off, and it's minute. It is minute, but there is something that feels unharmonious with the rest of the scents. The chamomile, the peppermint, the tea, all mixed together with an intention. And behind that, there's just a minuscule something off. You're not sure what. It's just like a half-flat note in a symphony.
And I'll look over to where you say the watermark
Mhm.
is. Is there a broken teacup?
There are two, you can see there are two, like, explosions of ceramic in roughly the same sort of position over in the back corner.
I guess I'll go over and sniff them as well.
Yeah,
Just
absolutely.
see if I can match the...
You sort of push up onto your hind legs and place your paws onto the wall, and bring your muzzle up towards the watermark on the wall and once again. And it's the same smell. Chamomile. Peppermint. Down through into tea. And that same catch in the nose. That same note of something that just doesn't smell quite right.
Can I bet that dog?
Can I bet that
Cool. So, non-metagaming. Still, so piecing that together, you will tell me what I'm thinking, because I don't want to mess the game. What does that indicate to Willow in her brain? That there is stuff, but there is something that doesn't feel...
There's something off about the tea.
Something
Nah,
off about the
tea's
tea.
fine.
Yeah.
That's what we're going with.
Yeah.
What was she
I know, how weird is that?
thinking? What is happening?
That's told not to think, so something off about the tea is
Something
what I think.
something is off about the tea. You're
Nothing,
sure of
nothing.
that.
Cool.
No, nothing. No.
Tony did it. Cool. I guess I'll have a little sniff around the room.
Yeah,
And just see
absolutely.
if I can trace anything else that may give me that same...
Sniffs all the way
off.
to Tony's pocket.
Give me
I'm just going to walk up to Tony.
give me a perception check again.
Sniffing.
Sniffing.
Pop,
Did it turn into a-
puppies. Ooh. That's only a 12.
With your muzzle up to the residue, it's quite easy to focus in on certain scents. However, sniffing around the room, there are a lot of mixtures here. Sigismund, there is just this note of sandalwood. How dare
That
you?
was too real.
It was.
You know.
Mothdew, there is the unmistakable iron tang of old blood. Nakani, there's almost a note of something like sage, but not quite sage, but there's something herbaceous about her scent. Cricket's scent drifts through the air as well. It's not unlike petrichor, that scent of moisture, rain, after it's fallen after a hot day, with something underlying underneath, which you assume to be the poison that he secretes. And with Tony,
Can I just...
You got a
that,
12. You got a
that poison...
12.
No, carry on.
You don't know.
No, I'm not talking about you.
And with Tony, there is
Chamomile.
nothing.
Doesn't smell.
Nothing at all.
Which is more
There
suspicious.
is a scent that you've smelled many, many times. It's just that ever so slight smell of smoke. Like a days old campfire. Just back of your mind, but you know that that's Tony, and it brings you a level of comfort because that is something that you've smelt many a time on your travel. And then there is also this rather earthy smell from the bugbear that is in the room with you. But that's all you get. There's this heady mix of scents that mask anything else that you could possibly glean.
This smell that I get from Cricket.
Mm-hmm.
He wants the murder.
Mm.
Disappears and someone goes mad.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to check if there's anything that feels connecting between that off smell and the maybe like poisonous smell that I smell from Cricket.
With a 12.
With a 12. I got nothing on a 28.
Make me an investigation check.
Investigation.
You don't know where I am. You absolutely know
What?
where I am.
Oh,
Oh yeah, you can sniff.
don't worry, you're fine.
I can smell
6.
you.
For now.
Are you rolling at advantage? Oh, no,
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 it's
that's an
investigation,
investigation check. 6. You don't think so?
Cool.
He's still using his nose though.
Yes, but this is purely investigation. This is Willow's ability to try and connect evidence point A with evidence point B.
So
the
it's not
off
just
smell of the
blind
tea
smell.
to your smell, and it's less to do with her olfactory senses at this point, and I'm comparing this with that. Can it connect?
Sure. So it's more.
Cool.
Yeah.
No, nothing.
Nothing.
Sweet. She'll come out.
You
I wanted to
Oh,
see
sorry.
the wolf.
I'll let you pet.
You do a little scritch behind the ears, and then the wolf takes a step forward and rises up on its hind legs, and Willow is
You good?
in front of you once more.
You okay?
Magical girl transformation.
I have to say, I rarely have the privilege of seeing a druid take on the form of a wild creature, but it fascinates me every time.
Oh, well, if you ever want to see it again, just let me know.
You are.
I can do it twice, and then I can like sit for a bit, and I can do it twice again, and I can sit for a bit, and I can do it twice again. We can just keep going all day.
I would feel that I would be rather taking advantage of your time, but I very much appreciate your forthcomings.
Do you know the ingredients of what was in the High Cleric's tea?
It is merely a tea that we mix together here in the temple. We use some of the chamomile that we grow outside. But yes, peppermint as well. That is
Just some
mixed in with the
regular
tea. Yes, absolutely. It's
Anything else?
no, that is the components. It depends on if anybody would like a little bit of honey or something to sweeten it, but that is a personal preference. The tea itself is sort of its purpose is twofold.
Is it shaken, not stirred?
No, you don't shake a tea, you stir it to make sure that it is brewed correctly. The tea itself, the peppermint and the chamomile,
Willow's like,
they are there to instill a sense of calm and tranquility in oneself.
I don't think it bloody worked this time, did it?
No,
Sorry.
it did not.
there was a forced smell in the tea. Something smelled. I could pick out the chamomile and the peppermint and the regular tea, but there was something else that was off.
No.
He walks on over to the shattered teapot, and he bends one knee, kneels down, clutches his holy symbol, and places a finger in the center of the water
You
stain.
just fucked me over.
Whispers,
Should have taken my things to
whispers some words quietly to themselves, and there's this just ever so slight silvery blue glow just on their fingertip, and they close their eyes and bow their head.
I cast. No, I'm joking.
Power word kill.
She was poisoned.
And that's where we're going to take our break.
Oh no!
We will be back in a couple of minutes, and we will see what this means for the Dawn Takers.
Oh no.
You're all fucking me over.
You fucked yourself, lady.
Yeah.
We will be back in a couple of minutes. Join us in just a second. and welcome back.
Poison.
Here,
It's
in the
pronounced
personal... Here, in the personal prayer chambers of the recently demoted High Cleric Ashikiela Erethel,
Shakira. Up every time like that.
the shards of ceramic, the pieces,
Sorry.
the pieces of a ruined divine statue, and the kneeling, acting High Cleric, finger placed firmly on the ground in the middle of this watermark. Deglat Tanthin gets up, turns around, and looks at you and says,
She was poisoned.
Siggy audibly gasps. But not so sarcastic.
I'm gonna elbow Matthew. In case you're good with poisons, right?
Not prepared.
Loving it.
Okay.
Tony will just.
Poisons. It identifies it for it.
Oh damn. At this, Tony just has just a moment inside her head where she's like, "Are you okay?" To herself.
make me a religion check.
We good, bro?
We turn around and see Tony sweating.
Nah, she's fine.
Try your
Okay.
Comic-Con dice again.
Should I?
Yeah.
Go on.
Give him a second chance.
Go on.
No, but I got other new dice from the live show.
Try this one.
This is.
Are you doing this to fuck me over?
No, we'll just see.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on, sweetie, you got this. Oh, that was nearly a 1. Did you see it? It stopped there for a second and tipped over.
I did.
Holy shit.
But it's a 2.
No, it's I rolled a 13, so it's a 17.
Aye.
Thank you so much.
On a 17, you unbeknownst to everyone else, what is Tony feeling in this moment?
I think there's a part of her that really wants to panic. But I think she's fine. I think she trusts that everything's fine.
Your entire being is calm.
Mm-hmm.
Just below the surface, you feel that thrum of the potential for panic. That if you lost control, you could spiral.
Yeah.
And it's just a flutter in your chest, like a hummingbird pressed against your ribcage. And you just extend your consciousness, and the flutter vanishes.
Is it okay if Matthew does something?
What would Matthew like to do?
As he's flicking through his book, he's like, "Oh, wait. No, I can do it as a ritual." Could I cast Detect Poison?
Yes,
and
indeed.
identify it?
You go down on one knee and you touch the watermark that has been left from this teapot, and you cast Detect Poison and Disease. You extend your consciousness out into the residue that has been left here, and something flares in the back of your mind, and you know that a poison was added to this tea. Now, via the effects of detect poison and disease. You can sense the presence and location of poisonous creatures, and diseases within 30 feet of you. It's not a disease, it's not a poisonous creature, it is a poison. You also identify the kind of poison. It was an ingestible poison. It had to be ingested, and it was a poison that afflicted the mind.
Poison was in the tea.
So, who made the tea?
The tea is made here in the temple. It is made by one of the members of our order, and we distribute it around most of the clerics, but the clerics have not reacted in the same way.
Can you think of anyone who, or any motivation for this? Like, why would someone poison the High Cleric?
I do not know. Ashikiela herself was a wonderful and delicate individual. She was kind and caring. We here delighted at serving under her guidance. If, as it seems, this is a pointed attack on her, it could be from our sect of cultists who are rivals of Nelagwe, in which case we need to be we need to have our wits about us.
Would you happen to know if she... What else is down here? Is there anything nearby?
No, in this particular section of the temple, these are just prayer rooms. You have the central chamber for prayer and for commune, and then over in the other wing, you have the chambers of the clerics.
I am trying so damn hard not to metagame, but maybe I should roll to see if I could piece together whether to ask if she had any visitors or met with anyone, or if they have any logs of who was there that day.
Yeah. Give me an intelligence check. Straight intelligence.
It's not gonna go well, but okay. Right. Okay, 7.
It doesn't occur to Nakani to ask that.
Yeah.
You mentioned a set of rival cultists. What's that all about?
I don't know how far into your education you are.
First year.
He's not very far.
Still
I might know.
As far as material beings are aware, long before we came into existence, the gods appeared. The first gods we have called the creator gods. They are the major pantheon. You have gods such as Oralis, the goddess of the sun and light. She was the one who lit the darkness and brought the major pantheon to her. And under her guidance, they started to build the known realms. The planes of the elements and then in the center, the material plane. And eventually, the planes outside of this particular scaffolding as well. Eventually, through eons that are only known to the gods, they gave themselves a corporeal form so that they might walk amongst these worlds that they had made, and with a corporeal form came a corporeal union. Some of them had children, some of them made children in the loosest sense of the term. Now, this particular section of the pantheon we call the demi-pantheon. These are the successor gods, the gods that came after the major pantheon. There were some within this particular section of gods that took ill of their situation. It is said that they were not happy with the balance of power between them and their parents. And thus they rose up against them. A war broke out. A god war. And we call this the first cataclysm.
At this, may everybody make me a history check.
Would I know any more or any less about this being?
Yes, make it with advantage because this is god-based.
I'll use my other new dice.
Can I also make a check to see whether this corporeal form of gods is news to Willow? Like, of
Oh my
gods
God.
gaining... Were you saying about them gaining, like,
Oh, you're
corporeal
right.
form
Oh
and
my
can
lord.
Make
It's the sad.
have to do
me
a disadvantage?
make me a history
I don't think my
check.
dad had ever mentioned it.
Both of my new dice.
Yeah, make me just a flat history check because you do have some semblance of this.
Oh my god.
Matthew, history check.
19.
3.
19.
Make it with a disadvantage. I'm sorry, you're a Vardy.
Rude.
It's god stuff
4 for that history check. For the main-
4. Okay,
Yeah.
and then keep the other roll.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in just a moment.
9.
9,
7.
7,
3.
3. You would know that the first cataclysm was the God War, an event that shook all of the planes of existence. And it was after the first cataclysm that modern history started. You know that the years that you are in are marked, the ages that you are in are marked by cataclysms. Every time the material plane needs to basically rebuild itself, you come into a new age of peace. Each age of peace follows a cataclysm. A cataclysm is a world-shattering event. And the first cataclysm was between the gods fighting each other. What did you get for your corporeal form check?
only 14.
You would know that the gods at one point were supposedly just energy, like supernova levels of energy that started to synthesize corporeal places like the elemental planes and then the material plane and the other planes, etc., as this high cleric has told you. They created corporeal forms to walk in amongst mortal kind, and at one point they did roam the earth. That has now changed following the creator's withdrawal. As the war raged, the major and demi-pantheon created more divine beings, not quite as powerful as them, but powerful enough to be
almost gods. And we group these together in the minor pantheon. The minor pantheon are also known as the culminator gods. These were the last gods to ever be created. And the minor pantheon and the demi-pantheon are split in twain. On one side, those that ally themselves with the creator gods, the major pantheon, and those that rose up against them. Now, during the God War, the first cataclysm, the gods that betrayed their own kind were beaten, defeated, and cast out, sent to the planes below, the planes that they had created. And that is where they stay imprisoned. And thus we call them the Fallen. Throughout this first cataclysm, there were gods that died on both sides. But many of them, almost all of them, that we know of course, still remain. Their machinations within this world still very much at large. If one of the Fallen has started to target Nelagwe, then this bodes ill for us. But having said this, this is all knowledge centuries and centuries old. And most of what we knew about the world before the first cataclysm was lost in that war and the wars since. But that is what I mean when I say a cult of an enemy of Nelagwe. People who worship a member of the Fallen.
So they're probably the most likely suspects for this, then, huh?
Well, I don't know. It's just one theory. I'm not an investigator.
You think it's connected to the murder of Lady Olegiana? That got away from me.
Toffalappy?
Toffalappy.
Toffalappy. Oh, God.
Do you think it's connected to the murder of Lady Olegiana and Devana? Whatever her name is.
I don't know. I don't know much of the details of her situation.
Silence beyond death.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say injected?
I used the term injected, but that was Jack.
Yes.
That was Jack trying to reach for a word. It was not necessarily injected. It was.
But would Tony know how that is given? I feel like we've already been over
Yes,
this.
it's usually coated on a blade of some description used in the assassination process, and it's usually used near the throat. It's not a needle, and it's not ingested. Sorry, that was my faux pas. For want of a better word, it was ingested. Injected.
But the one in the tea was
Ingested.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yes.
I'm with you.
I don't know if this is connected or not. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, Olegiana was killed and told not to speak, essentially, about it. So this woman was just made mad for some reason, but they haven't. She's free to talk about her entire experience, so it doesn't feel like someone's trying to silence her. So maybe not. She's living as well at the end of the day.
She is, but as far as I'm aware, she is not making any coherent sense.
Thank you, Brain. Brain wants to say Shakira. It's not Shakira.
Well done.
Shit on.
Shakira,
hell.
yes. Shakira.
Shaka.
Shaka
Cthulhu.
Was she due to do anything or preside over anything or?
No, not that I am aware of. She had no new events to reside over. She occasionally gave sermons to people seeking peace and tranquility.
Or is there anyone in positions of power or influence that would go to her for help with anything?
If potentially they were seeking divine guidance or needed peace or tranquility themselves, potentially yes, but I know not of any people who sought to meet with her in the following days.
Did she have a diary or calendar or anything?
Not that I am aware of. I apologize.
The lack of administration paperwork is.
It's almost as if when you live in a temple, you kind of know what you're doing day to day.
Does this information help at all? You?
It helps to know that there are people out there that are trying to discover what has happened to our High Cleric, and it might grant us a step in the right direction to bringing peace back to our dear High Cleric.
You're all clerics and healers and whatnot. Has anyone tried healing her yet, or?
We have not had access to her. She has been taken by the Iron Guard. I have been told that the Iron Guard are taking care of her, and the Iron Guard have clerics within their ranks that could potentially deal with her circumstance.
You know the Iron Brand's not that great, right?
The Iron Guard have many different factions, and they all serve a purpose, and well, they keep us safe.
Yeah, they keep us safe. They keep us safe.
Sure.
Do you mind if we take a small bit of the tea, just in case?
I don't know what you can get from what is left, but you are welcome to try.
Just in case something occurs to us later on, then we don't have to come back in and bother you or bother anyone else. Not the whole thing.
Certainly you can, yes, don't move any of the pieces, but if you can potentially gain a part of the residue, you are more than welcome to attempt to do so.
I'm gonna go through Matthew's bag, get a
Yeah.
small vial, and just sweep a couple of
Yeah.
TB.
Very nice.
There is very little left to scrape up. This is like a watermark on the cobblestones.
No, but
Give
isn't
me.
Isn't the teapot is smashed?
Yes.
Assuming the leaves that were in the teapot will have dried out by now.
You can take some of the leaves for sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go for it.
That's what I'm
Give me.
You want to eat them?
Give me. A dexterity check.
Sorry. I just have images of sunglasses going on. The CSI Dolomus. Wow!
So, what's the tea?
Oh,
Nice. He's very good.
We're playing TNT!
Oh! Bow, bow.
that's even
Well,
worse.
that's shit.
Oh.
That's only a 5.
A 5. You try and scrape up what residue you can. There are some tea leaves in there. You scrape a little bit too hard on some of the stonework and you get a little bit of like dust, stone dust in there as well that's contaminated the sample. But you do what you can and you never know. Matthew might be able to glean some information with his alchemist tools.
Does old Deglat seem to be focusing quite a lot on Nakani sweeping this up to make sure there's nothing stolen or anything?
Yeah.
Very focused indeed.
Pretty focused.
Focused enough for me to whisper into Willow's ear without being heard?
It depends on how quiet you are.
Oh no.
I'm
It
gonna
just
give
makes the mouth sore.
gonna give you the gentlest of tugs upon your hem to try and draw you away into the corner. Do you want me to roll a stealth check?
We'll see.
Okay.
Just gonna like look down at the wall.
Yes. It's me, Cricket.
Ask where they took her.
You don't make
Very good.
Sorry. Foiled.
Stealth check.
Oh, god damn it, okay. At advantage, because I'm invisible. But my mouth's invisible.
But you are making
My
noise.
vocal cords are invisible.
This is entirely sound-based. Same brains.
So, that was very suave.
Thank you.
Just the one then, eh?
Regular stealth
Suave.
check.
You mean man? Terrible. Oh no, that's okay. 28.
Continue.
And just kneel down next to Will and be like, what are you doing?
I was looking at the wall.
Oh, okay.
Oh, where did they take her?
You can see that the High Cleric, watching the Carney, sort of half turns over their shoulder to speak to you.
I believe they took her to the Iron Barracks to be incarcerated until she is no longer a threat to herself and others around her.
Okay, so she's in prison.
Yes, but mainly for her own safety.
Wow. Well, that's where she is.
Okay. Thank you
You're very welcome.
for all of this. We're sorry that this happened.
I very much appreciate your words and your actions. It's greatly appreciated in this.
That is enough. I am speaking.
Stop it.
Stop it!
Um,
Stop it.
Yes.
Anyway, is there anything else that I can provide for you, or have you gleaned as much information as you can?
I guess maybe just if any of this seems to be tied up with Lady Gianna, if you could just maybe let us know.
If I hear of anything, if the Iron Guard give me any sort of information to a connection, I will. Where could I find you or send a message to you?
We're staying in. Where are we staying?
Staying at the
s-
Silk Drapes
Silk Drapes.
for now.
I believe I know of it. If not, I can certainly get a message to you.
Yeah.
But if you don't hear from me, then I have no more information for you.
If you send a message, ask for the Dawn Takers.
The Dawn Takers.
That's us.
Sounds positive. You tread in the light of Oralis, and by connection, the Moon Watchers themselves.
And the Closet God.
Yes.
Yeah.
Before we go, I don't know why I'm so fixated on this fucking tea, but is there a tea caddy or something?
To store their tea leaves
Yes.
in. Yes.
What I'm trying to work out is if the poison was in there just waiting, or if it was introduced later.
I can bring you to the tea to check. As I say, we make batches of this tea, and
Oh,
other people
so she
have.
doesn't have like a container in here.
No, my apologies. I don't know if I explained this properly before. The tea itself we make here, but it is used to calm oneself, but also to further one's connection to Nelagwe, and thus we give it to the clerics,
Yes.
but also.
No, I just mean like. Sorry,
I'm
is
so
there a
sorry,
fancy
if-
Tupperware anywhere with tea in it.
If you if you want to check that, I can bring that to you.
in the room.
It's not in the room. You don't see it
Okay.
in the room.
That's fine then. That's fine. I'll just As soon as I've established it's not in the room, that's
Yeah,
fine.
it's not. It's not in the room. I couldn't. I would need to go back
like
to
it, I like it.
to the
It's
other
okay.
wing.
No, I would just I had a thought and then thought the thought was silly. So
Maybe we leave that
Yes.
with you. Why don't you check it? And if you find anything, let us know.
maybe just don't
Yes.
drink any of the tea.
Yes, I will check all of our ingredients to make sure no tampering has gone on. It's a good idea. Thank you very much. I'm so sorry. What was your name?
Oh, Nakani.
Nakani. It is very nice to meet you.
He sort of smiles slightly, and you can see the tusks sort of like show it just ever so slightly more.
Can I help you with anything else?
Just keep us updated. And
Yeah.
we're
I
sorry.
most certainly will do. You take care now.
All right.
Thank you.
And may peace and tranquility go with you.
Blessings of Kabodi upon you.
Body.
Go with peace.
Isn't that well?
And I will walk away.
No.
Go with peace.
Brilliant. Peter Kabodi.
And I drag my assistant with me.
Wonderful. By the ear.
Before we vacate any
Yes.
room, could I cast detect magic in the room?
Absolutely, you can cast detect magic if you'd like to. You extend your senses, and this shimmer alights on the room and rests on every part of this space, and then fades. And other than the magical items that you know your companions hold, and the holy symbol around the cleric's neck, there is nothing in here magical.
I want to glow with a magical item, but I don't. One day.
One day.
More shopping.
We leave.
Are you exiting the temple itself?
Yeah.
Ow, 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 ow.
You step down the stairs that lead out of the Temple of Neliguir, and the doors.
I just check that Mr. Cricket has come with us.
You certainly can do. I think by this point you are starting to get into quite the habit of pausing at doors, waiting for Cricket to be with you, or at least giving them time until you think that they are there. Cricket, do you follow?
No, I do follow. Yeah. I'll do a little. If you're holding the door open, as I go under your arm, I'll be like, just so you know.
Perfect.
And I'll just go, Ruby?
I think Tony would have been one of the last ones anyway, probably held the door up and just had one last look at the statue, and I feel like she doesn't show it, but inside there's like this little glint of like pride that is like in her as she turns around.
She don't regret it.
You look up into the silent, statuesque visage of the goddess Neliguir, the partner of tides, the ocean dancer, the blue moon of tranquility. And they look back at you, and you smile, knowing you've done the right thing.
And you flip it the bird.
And you slowly turn, and the door behind you.
Cool.
Well, that went well.
Well, we didn't get arrested or killed, so
No.
yeah.
But we found out some. If only we did that in Algiana's house, maybe we would have had more luck.
I think we had a look around. We just got.
We were pretty thorough. We just got interrupted.
Yeah, I don't.
You know.
Okay, so I don't think it's connected.
No, me neither.
Or if it is connected, they're not following the same
No.
beats.
They did a much worse job.
Yeah.
I do feel sorry for the High Cleric being at the Iron Barracks, because I feel like they may have just stuck her in a room, locked it, and thrown away the key.
Probably.
Are we gonna break out the High Cleric?
No, we're not doing that.
Yeah, sloppy job.
Uh-huh. Oh well.
Okay.
Do you want to? Were you gonna? I was gonna say, do you want to head to the Black Bottle for
We have a meeting to
a
attend.
meeting?
Well, we need to see if we can attend.
What time is it?
What is the clock doing?
Can I also ask for the date as well on that?
I believe the date is. I believe we are on the 2nd of Qualiges, which is the 4th month in the cycle. Yes.
Wally, Jeff.
Kwaliijes.
Always.
J
I'm just gonna
for
spell it how it sounds. How it sounds.
J for Jumanji.
J for Jumanji.
J for Jumanji.
Qualage.
Qualiges.
Yes.
Any last
The
words?
second.
It is the 2nd.
Anyway, wrong game.
I believe it is starting to get onto mid-afternoon now. Oh no, it's starting to get into early evening because you
evening.
slept
Yeah.
and then went to the
Until
Arcanist
about
house.
4, yeah.
So actually, it is
It is
sunset
black hole
at this point. The sky is...
No, so do I need to go to the blood camp still?
You had arranged to go to Blood Camp today, but it is up to you whether you still attend. You have already been to see the Arcanist today, and they said that they are setting out in a couple of days.
Oh shit, so I better go.
It is up to you.
Yeah, go on, Matthew will...
Head on over.
Yeah.
We also
Okay.
maybe
Matthew,
need to meet
before-
the homeless person. I can't
Were
remember
we
why.
doing that?
Yeah, because I feel like that could be useful
Okay.
for underground.
So are some of us
Knowledge.
going with Nikani, some of us are going to meet the homeless person.
Can do, yeah. And maybe
All
Matthew
will
sort of
become
come to
clear.
blood camp again.
Nothing you don't need. You don't.
Hearing that plan, Matthew's going to be like, oh, okay, I'm going to blood camp.
I'm going. I like it. I like it.
So, Matthew, you are setting off for the Arcanist.
Yeah, yeah. Matthew, just before you go, I know I made a bit of a fool of myself and probably a bit of a fool of all of us when we last went to the Arcanist house.
Oh, yeah.
I hope I didn't mess up any opportunity you've got. So.
As far as I'm aware, you haven't.
It's
Well.
all very cloudy. Sure, just take my apologies with you.
And the rest of you are headed across the city to the Black Bottle.
So who's going with who?
Well, I think Matthew, you're going alone.
Yeah.
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 I'll go with Nikani.
Okay.
If you want.
Could
Perhaps
we maybe
maybe-
go with Nikani first? I just want to see when you arrange this a meeting, because you're gonna have to rearrange it. Is the whole point.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to see if that's happening now, because if it is, I can be a support class and support you in your decisions. If not, we can go and do other things.
Because it was you two that met the.
The homeless
Yeah.
person, yeah.
But
They trust
in my
you.
head, I care more about
Oh, yeah.
Nikani's safety in this
Yeah.
than a homeless person. So I just want to check
No,
that she's
absolutely.
okay first,
Okay.
and if she is, and I can help her, then we can go off and do other things.
Do I have an indication of how visible I am?
Oh, you bloody piece of...
I
You've
can
got-
do it.
I can hide. I can hide. I can
You
hide.
can't.
You've got maybe 10 minutes left.
Well, I don't want to burn through your spells. If you think you can walk fast enough with me,
If only there was someone else who could do
Where
this.
are you?
Where are you? It's got to be done.
Cricket.
forgive me all.
Cricket.
I let it go. 3, 2, 1. Can no!
Starting to become
dead.
well
For a
practiced.
split second, you just see this. And then
just a little.
You little shit.
And you are invisible once again. Matthew heads off down a side street towards the Arcanist house, and the rest of you make your way over to the Black Bottle. It takes you roughly 45 minutes as you need to get basically across the city. But eventually,
Already cast
you come upon the ramshackled, slightly dishevelled building, familiar to some as the Black Bottle. You enter on in, and it is at this hour fairly busy, getting slightly raucous. A fair amount of tavern goers are sitting at tables and in booths, etc., etc. You can see as you walk in towards the back, there is the bar area, and once again, this individual that you have spoken to directly, Nikani, is tending bar. They are serving drinks with another individual as well.
Before we go in,
Yes.
I'm just going to fuck it in. I'm going to cast Enhanceability on you and just give you advantage on charisma checks. Because you may have to persuade him to meet today or something. So
Okay, thank you.
I'll just
Yes.
do that.
Okay.
When one support finishes, another support.
I love it.
you're just non-stop, aren't you, Ben?
Yeah, well, second level spells are gone.
Do we-
Fight!
Do we want to arrange this for tonight or tomorrow? Is it tonight?
Maybe just see how. Maybe if it feels like it's a tonight
As
thing.
soon as possible.
I'd say as
I
soon as
think we need the
possible.
information as soon as possible.
Right now!
I'm also going to do a thing. Oh, it's only 10 minutes though. Might be worth it. I'm going to... Yeah, I'll pull out one of my little rune stones and hand it to Nikani. and just whisper under my breath. What? Don't eat that. That's a rock.
David was like, "What have I done now?"
It wasn't you, sweetheart. You keep going. You're perfect.
Sorry, just derailing in the background.
And I'm just gonna swiftly say, like, to the great ancestor Floki, cleverest and trixiest of all my ancestors, please give this person guidance, and give her a tongue as golden as mine. And for the next 10 minutes, whenever you make an intelligence, wisdom, or charisma check, you can roll an extra die immediately after rolling d20 and add that number to the check. So it's basically a bardic inspiration that lasts a little bit longer.
Oh, D6?
And yes, D6.
You stacked. You
Watch me fail anyway.
Yeah.
Wait. Well, everyone else is giving you something, so I'm just gonna rip a
'cause
single
you're invisible.
fletch off my arrow
Mm-hmm.
and just give you a feather.
Ah.
This is good luck.
You have no idea what he's holding out or where he's holding out because he's invisible.
It's right. It's here. Stick your right hand out horizontally. Place.
The small, half-feathered fletching from an arrow just appears in your hand.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know if it's gonna do anything, but everyone else will give me something as well. So.
I have to concentrate.
I'm just gonna put the various
I'm busy, alright, go somewhere else.
Can't help.
Concentrate.
I'm already helping.
So she may be going by herself.
Do you want to?
I can. Yes, it's fine.
Do you want to get into character first?
It'll be
Okay,
right
ready?
inside
I'm
it, though.
very mean and
You're very
sinister
angry.
underworld.
You want to kill everyone. But you don't want to do it.
No.
You want
Oh,
other
but
people
only
to do
if
it.
it's helpful for the greater good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
you're-
play some like sinister music in the background, like.
You've got money to spend. People to slay.
Oh, do I have money? Money? You're not there anymore.
You
Okay.
have your money.
Yes, I have my money now. Yes.
Did we get paid?
No.
Not since we did the.
I've still got 1 gold then. That's
Oh,
fine.
no, you should have the
No,
blighter.
I was wanting you. We have
Yeah, we did save
we
money
have-
for
I
you.
think so.
I can't remember who has it.
Sorry, I'll stick with my 1 gold for now. That's why you're only getting a feather, I'm afraid.
That's alright.
And you wanted to. Do you remember what you said to them? Who you wanted? It was General Vic.
Yes, but I'm thinking maybe I abandon that train and maybe ask for more help with evidence instead.
Okay.
Rather than asking for someone else to be murdered, more if it's like, because if it's criminals, then maybe they don't care about handing other criminals in.
Yeah, because I guess if you're too good, you might actually get him assassinated.
I think
And then you owe people money.
I mean,
and
we've seen how
All
you
we
eat.
did was just, purchase services.
We've
I
seen
think
how.
originally we wanted to make sure that this was the place to come, and now I think we know that it is.
Yes.
That we just ask for what we need.
You can do it.
Okay, and and maybe I won't use any real names apart from
Lady Olajian.
what's Wicket's friend's name?
Have Ralph.
Oh,
Helvar. That's your god.
Helvar.
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 Daddy Helvar.
Daddy Helvar.
Cricket, you're invisible. Do you want to go in with her?
Okay, I don't want to throw you off though. I can come in if you want.
Do I have to slap another one on you before we go in? I won't
Okay,
be tight.
but please don't steal anything or make anything suspicious.
I'll do as little as possible.
Okay.
Inside
Inside
check.
In unison.
How can you see the look in my eyes?
I'm listening to that voice that I've heard.
You can make an insight check if you'd like to.
But we
The
have
first
disadvantage.
time that we met, you decided to go and steal from the bar while the barkeep was still in the room.
I saw you playing with a ladle and I wanted to join in.
That's better.
I got a
Cricket, make a deception or persuasion check. Don't tell us which.
Did we go?
I got a 14.
22.
25.
7.
Are you telling the truth?
I'm feeling a bit cheeky.
God.
But do you know what? I am on. This sounds like it could be productive, and I don't want to get in the way of any productivity. So I'm feeling cheeky but sensible.
There's a tremor in Cricket's voice as they feel like they could, in this particular moment, quite easily pilfer a coin purse now and again. But there is also a resolute sounding hardness to their voice when they know that they are on a job.
Cricket,
I'm on a job.
Cricket,
Yeah.
just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Yes, Mom.
Not every time.
Not today.
Not at all today.
If you fuck it up, you could end up getting Nakani in prison. Do you want that? Do you want another friend in prison?
Well, I mean, we're already gonna go.
Cricket,
All
just
right,
say
I'm
no.
sorry. No, I don't.
All right.
Hey, look, I can drop this invisibility.
No.
Don't do that. Cricket, wherever you are, you stay close to Nakani, and if we have to communicate with you, I will cast a message to which you can also give me insight into what's happening inside.
I'm gonna do a mini hop so my mouth is absolutely level with his ear and no more than 2 inches away. And I'm gonna go, okay.
You try and backhand Cricket, but he's already dropped. and is no longer there.
Force of habit.
So who is entering the black bottle?
Them two, I think.
Okay.
Nakani, Cricket.
Unless we
Nakani
want to go
is
sit
an-
at another table a bit
Tony,
later.
you know that you are starting to come to the end of your spell.
Come here, Cricket. Where are you? Where are you?
There.
Thank you. Right, I cast it again.
And you have
Maybe-
another hour.
Sorry, can I maybe
Go on,
sneak
hour.
around the side? Not necessarily sneak, but just walk around the
Okay,
side, see if
one
there's a
hour.
window where I can see in.
Yeah.
I'm glad
You
for my
you
spell
can.
slots.
5 foot tall, so it might be like this.
Let me get my bearings. If you walk around to the left, I do believe, there is this set of diagonally paned windows. They are pretty filthy, but you can kind of look in. It's a very muddied view. Basically, your perception checks are going to be at disadvantage, but you can kind of see what's going on.
Do you want to go for a drink?
You know what?
I'll post
Absolutely.
up there.
Perfect.
Should we go for a drink?
Absolutely.
Okay. We'll wait like 30 seconds and then we'll just
Follow in afterwards.
just go find a table
Get a
and
little
just
booth.
keep an eye.
Perfect.
I think it's
Proceed
going to
if
see
you
him
will.
do that and change his mind and just go inside.
Are you still dressed as a cleric?
No. I will
I'm
say
gonna
that.
say if you are round the corner, you don't see that.
It's alright.
You've made a choice, Sigismund.
Wait,
You are
can I-
now round the
I
outside.
see you in the
We get to
window.
be
Can I see
alone
them
these
enter?
days.
We'll see in just a moment.
We
Okay.
cast invisibility on ourselves.
So,
invisibility.
And you can't sit with us.
Nakani,
Sit with us.
with Cricket invisible and hot on your literal tail, you are entering the black bottle first, as Sigismund goes around the corner to scope outside. You enter on in, as I say, you can see the bar in front of you, the tavern goers. Some of the booths are empty on your right. In fact, the exact same booth that you sat in the corner the other night when you were here is also empty. Cricket, you can see the same sort of thing. Where are you going?
I'm gonna go to the end of the bar
Okay.
that the what's his name, Hervis was working at.
Okay. So you're going to the end of the bar, you're not going up to Hervis?
Yeah, I'm gonna very visibly rock up at the bar
Okay.
casually.
Casually. You start to pick your way through the tables, and between serving one customer or another, you can see Hervis look up and immediately recognize you, as you are fairly easily noticeable in this particular part of the world. His brow furrows, and he goes over to serve the next customer. After he's done, he comes over to you, ignoring the rest of the customers, and the other individual at the bar, this lizard folk, tall, dark green scales, large head, and heavy set jaws. There is this fin that is half up at the minute, this sail of skin that gives a flash of sort of like reddish colour to this individual, takes over serving the rest of the customers. Hervis comes over to you.
Hello again. Should you not be on a job right now? I thought you were not due to be back for a number of days.
So, things have progressed in a different order than was planned.
Okay. Take a seat. I'll be over in a second.
And they point to the corner booth that is empty, the exact same one that you sat in last time.
Okay.
I'll be over in just a moment.
Okay.
They go back to serving drinks until you are sat down, and then pour themselves a tankard, and they travel on over and sit down opposite you in the booth. Cricket, where are you? Are you following Nakani?
I'm following fairly close behind. I know Nakani's very perceptive, so what I'm trying to do to make myself useful is see, like, people's opinion of it. Like, if she was chatting to them and then turned away, see an opinion, or see what people are thinking behind her back.
So just the regular tavern goers.
Regular tavern, but yeah, kind of perception, kind of insight, just seeing.
Give me an insight check.
An insight, yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of perception, it's kind of inside. It's a 19.
+8, so 27.
You can hear lots of different conversations going on, and you do see that there is a marked notice in Nakani. There's a halfling with this long ponytail of black hair streaked with grey, and they sort of look at Nakani. She goes past going, "Fuck me. Who? What?" And they turn to their friend. Did you see her? What? I've never seen anyone look like that. But just a general interest, and they start talking. The other one says, "No, that's a Hanuman. They're from a different country." And the conversation proceeds as such. There is one individual, this
Tempting to derail already.
this large half orc drinking by themselves, sort of takes a massive swig and is looking at Nakani, who is in monk attire carrying a weapon, and they look like they are like sizing Nakani up and down. Not threateningly. They don't look like they're about to attack immediately, but there is a noted assessment of Nakani.
Yeah.
Well,
that's all I'm really doing to the rest of the
so so people notice Nakani.
Yeah, but nobody's.
They don't look
with...
like they're taking a marked interest and following her or threatening her at any time. Do you sit in the booth with Nakani? Nakani, I'm sorry, I'm assuming you're sitting in the booth.
Is it like you say? It's a corner booth.
It is back at the front of the bar. The front doors are here. To the immediate right, it is this corner booth with a round table in that can sit like 3 or 4 people.
Right. In that case, I'm gonna sit corner booth like that, and then that's the corner. I'm just gonna perch on what would be like the headrest or the armrest or whatever. So
Yes, you can do so. Nakani sitting with her back to the rest of the tavern, sort of facing the front door wall. You sit to her immediate left in the corner there, and after a couple of moments, Hervis comes and sits opposite you and Nakani. As Nakani walks back towards the booth, you two enter in.
Concentrating.
What are you looking for, and what are you looking at?
I will say, as soon as we walk in here, Tony immediately switches on the defensive mode, and she's very much she's the don't fuck with me aura. She's trying to give that, and trying to be, especially with Willow there.
Yeah.
I think she's very much watching everyone.
For sure.
She's very much
Give me a performance check at advantage, because this is a demeanor that you adopt very often, but you are simply trying to portray that so as to also look as if you are taking Willow under your wing. So give me a performance check. This will be at advantage. Sigismund, give me a perception check at disadvantage, please, whilst you're looking in through the window.
So I rolled a 15, so it's a 14.
14.
Perception.
Yes.
12.
12. You walk on in to this particular establishment and immediately adopt your stony-faced, hard-tempered demeanour. And there are a couple of people who, similarly to Nakani, look you up and down more than anything. Willow, you feel a couple of curious eyes on you, and you start to feel just a little bit uncomfortable, a little bit out of place.
I will say, Willow. Tony wasn't here the last time they were in here. Willow's going to adopt the same persona that she adopted last time, which is the complete opposite of that.
Yes.
Which is the doe-eyed.
Yes.
I'm no threat to you.
Yes.
You can not take advantage, but as in, like, you can take advantage of my doughiness.
For sure.
Oh my god.
There is.
Doughiness!
It is pronounced doughy.
You can take advantage of the fact that I'm not
For sure.
anything of a threat.
Over to the left, you see two humans. Both of them seem to be female. Both built very wide-shouldered, heavy-set arms. Are sort of talking, and one of them looks over at you and sort of gives you a wry smile and a little nod. Just sips a drink.
Tony's like,
Are you looking directly at them and meeting their gaze?
Smile.
Okay. They sort of like nod for you to come on over.
Let's go.
what?
Yeah, let's go sit down.
You walk past them and you can feel their eyes on you as you move past. Sigismund, your perception check
12.
was a 12. Through the windows, you can see a humanoid of grey scale and a humanoid of green and orange.
I want to cast guidance for next time.
Okay.
I have to do that.
Okay.
Now I can see.
I guess we're just sitting. I'm sitting with those people.
No,
Sorry,
no.
but
We're
I'm
sitting
sitting
on our
across the
own.
window.
She's in. I'm going to sit so that I'm still in eye shot of her.
Yeah, you walk past them ever so slightly and hear the creak of the bench as one of them turns around and the other one leans just ever so slightly to look at you. And then you pick a table that has literally 2 seats at it, as the rest of the seats have been clearly dragged away and put at other tables so other people can sit with their friends, and you sit with Tony at that particular table, and at a glance you can see that the one who does not have her back to you is looking at you.
And was that the one that was looking at me before?
Both of them were looking at you.
Willow. Wow.
So yes,
Cool. Sorry, I'm done.
no problem at all. Nakani, there is a moment of anxiety where you are sat, and even though you know Cricket is with you, you feel very alone. Before Hervis sits down at the table. So, I have spoken to my contact, anticipating your arrival. I was not prepared for you to be here this soon. But at this point, it is inconsequential. They can't take the job. Not right now. Apparently, something has the Iron Guard spooked, and they're on high alert. Getting into the Iron Barracks is going to be more of a problem than ever before. And this individual is not willing to risk unwanted attention at this particular venture. So I am sorry, but your job request has been declined.
What about a new request? A slightly different request?
It depends very much on what it is and if you have the coin.
I have the coin. I'm gonna slide What did I give him last time? I can't remember.
I feel like you gave him like 20 gold
I
or
think
something.
I think you originally slipped him 20 gold.
Okay. I'm gonna give him another 20 gold.
This opens my ears and my contacts.
Good. So, by the way, just wondering, there's no chance of us being overheard or anything here, is there?
You're fine to discuss this with me here.
Good. She's just smiling a little too widely, more in the attempts to just unsettle rather than intimidate, but just
Give me an
it
intimidation
that-
check, but for unsettling purposes.
With advantage because of inhospitable.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Stacked.
Oh, that's cocked.
Ooh.
Okay.
Do you get that extra thing that you got from doing?
That's a one-time
Oh,
use.
is it?
Yeah.
So that is an 18.
You do see Hervis sort of shift uncomfortably and take a drink, not leaving your gaze.
What's the job?
Essentially, I need information.
Okay.
There have been some strange events that have happened recently, starting with the murder of Lady Olagiana,
Uh-huh.
which I know was done with silence beyond death.
Okay. I'm gonna stop you right there. I don't know what happened to the lady of this city. And if I did know what happened to that particular individual, you would surely understand that I could not discuss any information about that. For if I do discuss any information about that which I do not know, then obviously the person that conducted that particular action would be inclined to do the same to me. Client privilege, you understand?
I understand. But where it becomes difficult is a friend of mine is currently in prison for that crime. Wrongly.
Listen,
And I would like to be able to pin this on anyone else apart from him.
You need to keep your voice down, or you're going to attract the attention of the wrong people. You dig too deep into this, you're going to end up next.
I don't need to dig deep. All I need to do is to divert things ever so slightly.
Listen, I am sorry your friend got caught up in this, but that is his problem, not mine, and I will not have my neck slit for this.
Perhaps you don't need to. I'm not asking for any information about who or what went on there. All I'm asking is perhaps you would be so very kind as to help me find some evidence that proves it was not my friend.
If I do that, and I even survive, I ruin my reputation of a trustworthy individual that people can come to when they have a problem. You have to see that my hands are tied here. I can't do anything.
Not even by way of someone else who is causing a problem?
What are you trying to achieve here? Do you want to find the person that did this?
I don't care who actually did it. It's of no interest to me whatsoever. The only thing that matters to me is that my friend is not in prison for it anymore.
Make me a persuasion check. This is not.
Just absolutely punching you.
This is not at advantage.
God.
This is a straight roll.
No.
Even though I have-
You have advantage,
deserves it.
and you are asking something nigh on impossible from this person, which would give you disadvantage. They have balanced out, so you have a straight roll.
Come on.
I didn't want to interrupt any of that because it was absolutely sublime, but the whole time I was perceiving the rest of the bar and insight.
Give me an insight check for Hervis. Hold your number for me, Nakani.
I just didn't want to interrupt because it was fucking amazing. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
Holy moly!
Bloody magic, the both of you. Well done.
What a
So you
magic.
can use that tail of clever animal.
What? What?
There was a brain.
Oh, whenever.
What? We can help. What?
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
So you can use that bardic inspiration die as many times as you want in the next 10 minutes on charisma,
On anything?
Charisma, wisdom, or intelligence checks.
Okay, great.
Oh my lordy.
Can I pet that
Can I pet that
Thank you very much.
dog?
Okay.
My voice
Thank you very
is
much.
gone.
So,
Nakani.
okay.
Persuasion check.
Right. So, I rolled the persuasion check.
Yeah.
It's a 7.
Uh-huh.
Oh no.
However,
Go on.
as she says it, and she knows that it's flimsy.
Uh-huh.
She's gonna just like, there's almost like watching things through a fishbowl.
Yeah.
It's like goes and
Yeah.
then like expands out and goes back in, and I'm gonna re-roll it. I'm gonna use a key point to re-roll
I
it.
love
Yes,
it.
yes.
Have you got your proficiency for persuading as well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Janet,
Yeah.
This is all part of the new level 6 ability for the Way of Reality
using that
Distortion.
Okay.
So this is
Come
all
on, man,
new
this has to
abilities
work.
that we've given
This
Carney.
is the only thing we have.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay. Okay.
Please.
Hang on.
We need
So that is a 24.
Oh my god. Oh.
A 24.
My palms are so sweaty. Oh my god.
My voice is
What
like
a time,
gone.
what a time.
Remind me exactly the words that you used before, Nakani.
So I basically said, I don't care who actually did it. That's not of interest to me at all. You don't have to tell me anything about that. You just need to help me get my friend, get enough evidence for anyone else apart from my friend.
So frame somebody else.
Frame somebody else. We don't want the person who did it.
Like, if there's someone that's been pissing you off, I don't care. Just
Frame someone else. Frame. Do you really hate your mother-in-law?
We'll take anything.
You got a really annoying child.
Have you had an accident?
You are asking me to do something impossible here. And I can... Hervis gets up and leaves.
Do I see this?
Make me a perception check. Disadvantage.
I guess we would.
We do see.
Yeah.
That was a lot.
Make me a perception check, both of you.
I'm gonna
You
lean-
have been watching this.
I'm going to lean into Nakani's ear and just very quietly
18.
go,
20.
17.
You've seen Hervis sit down at the table. They've had a chat for about 5 minutes, and Hervis just gets up and leaves. And then you see, what did you get, sorry?
17.
17. You do see in the back corner an individual get up out of the booth and walk away back towards the bar.
Okay, I'll just try and keep an eye on
Yeah,
them.
you do. So they are at the bar. You can see them now serving drinks. You two then immediately see from a table like 2 booths down, a gnome gets up and walks up to the bar and hops onto the seat directly next to Nakani. Nakani, you feel their hand on your right leg. You look down and their hand is on your leg, but it's more of the wrist because in their hand there is a dagger and it is being held right next to your femoral artery. You can see this. I'm gonna ask you to stay very, very still. Because if you slip and this blade cuts you and the poison on it doesn't immediately kill you, slicing through this particular part of your leg would be very bad. Just look at that wall. We're just having a drink. And they take a shot and slam it back down. Now you, and they are not looking at you as they do this, they are talking directly at the wall. And you can feel the pressure of the blade on the inside of your thigh. Now you ask an awful lot of questions. And that's where we are going to end our episode.
How very dare you!
Oh, fuck.
Oh, man.
Are we still at the booth or have we gone back to the bar?
No, you are still in the booth. You were sat, you were about to lean over to Nakani to whisper something as Hervis got up and went away. Not 2 seconds later, this individual plonked themselves down on the seat.
On Nakani's left.
Literally, Nakani's right next to them. There was barely a half foot of space, but because they are a gnome, they have sat down in that particular position.
And as it stands, so it's Nakani sitting there, Gnome sitting there, I'm literally perched in between them.
Yeah.
Okay. Did it look like there was some sort of signal between Hervis and
You
this
didn't see
guy?
anything.
No, we saw.
I wouldn't have seen
Really
anything.
know what we saw.
Not through the window, unfortunately, no.
You were fucking killer
We just
there,
saw
by the way.
that was
maybe.
the maneuver.
But you might die now.
Thank
so-
you.
Might die.
That was 20.
I break in through the window and I throw a chair.
Thank you very much to the entire party for some incredible investigation here in the city of Dolomus, both at the Temple of Nelagwir and the Black Bottle. And we will have to see what happens next time. As per usual, thank you to you at home for watching. Please join us again next time for the second episode of 2024, and we will see what this particular individual has to say.
Just fuck him up, bar brawl.
Absolutely.
That's why I took Tavern Brawl.
Yeah,
I break in through the window and I throw a chair.
Could happen. Yes, join us again next time where the players keep questioning who actually killed Lady Olagiana. But for now, adventurers, keep on keeping on. Peace and love. Good night.
Bye.